An honest audio gear review of the Wes Audio Pandora. Now you'll notice over here we've got 4 Wes Audio Pandoras, and I love the Pandora and I think they are incredible compressors. Now what we basically have, and what I feel that it is, and I may be wrong, but what I feel when using it is we have 3 diodes, basically the Wes Audio diodes, multiband. That's how they feel. They feel very much like diodes. Now, one thing I would have loved for the Pandora to have was to be able to link all the bands together. That's the one thing that I think it doesn't have. And just link, and the reason for this is that if we were able to link all 3 bands, what we could then do is use it like we would a dione. So I've got 3 diodes down here and I've got 4 Pandoras. The Pandora sound wise is phenomenal. It really does sound good. Can you use it in mastering? Yeah, of course you could. You could use it as a multi-band comp in mastering if you really wanted to. Now, where I find it's best, and what I find it best for, I've used it a lot on bass, I use it a lot on drums, and I use it a lot on instruments with a high end that I want to kind of tame and almost use it like a de-esser. That's where it's good. I tend not to, at the moment, use too much of the THD per band. And this is the thing, is after you exit the honeymoon period of when you buy new equipment, you realize how you are actually going to use it in a real life situation. And in real life situations, I don't use the THD too much. The problem I find with the THD is just that you don't have enough in the way of, it's kind of like off, slightly on, and then really on. So you don't have that gauge between where on the 19-inch rack units, you have more of the way of, like, you could dial in from 0 to 100%. You don't really have that with the Pandora. It's either on, kind of on, or really on. That it's not too much of an issue, but it takes away some of the usability for it in terms of how it sounds, and you can use it as an EQ as well with the gain. If you set the crossovers where you want it, it's really good in that regards. Really incredible compressor. I can't say many bad things about it other than those 2 things, and they're not really bad things. It's more a case of if I could improve it. But here's the thing: is if you built a 19-inch rack version, I'm sure that would be going into it. You'd have links like you do with a Masalek MLA3 or MLA4. You can link the bands, and the only reason I like the idea of linking the bands is so that I can use it very much like I do use the diodes. So in terms of sound punchy, glued. It's very much like that G-Bus kind of comp. It's got that sound to it, but a multi-band version. I mean, is it better than an SSL G-Bus? Hell yeah, it is. I mean, I've owned many a G-Bus comp, and I know the sound of that. I know the style of that compressor, and that kicks its rear end every time. The gain on it's really good because, like I said, you can use it like an EQ. If you set if you want to kind of, sometimes a situation I find myself in sometimes, and the thing with it is as well is I use the Hyperions before it, so I have Hyperion then into the Pandora on every channel that I have the Pandoras. But the thing with the gain that you have on the Pandora is that sometimes you can use compression on the lower mid band, and then you might want to just bring out some of the higher band as with the gain, and you can do that with it, and that's really good. And then also as well is you can add some compression, like when I use it with bass, compressing the low end and controlling that low end, but then bringing it back out with some gain. That's all things that sound good. The one thing that in regards to the saturation of THD that you can do is you can activate the THD. You get this very, very you can get a very saturated sound with the THD, but then you can use the mix knob to kind of a dry wet mix of bring that THD back in. So there is that you can do. Overall, the controls on it, everything's there. Everything that you can do with it is all there on the front. Everything that you can do in the plugin, you can do on the hardware. That's one thing that's incredible with every Wes Audio piece of Wes Audio gear, is everything that you can do on the hardware or on the plugin is like everything you do on the plugin can be done on the hardware. So you don't have to, like, there's no hidden features in the plugin. That's really good, and I think that should be something that all manufacturers try and look at, is that everything you can do on the plugin, you can do on the hardware. That means that you never have to really go to the plugin. Now, myself, when I use all this digitally recordable gear, I don't like to go and visit the plugin. I don't like to open the plugin. I don't want to technically use the plugin. All I want that plugin to do is go like that, instant recall. That's all I want it to do. I don't want to actually have to use the plugin too much. The only time that I do use the plugin is like if I'm ever doing any kind of automation with hardware. So I'll use the plugin to write the automation and control the automation. But really and truly, I want to be hands-on with all my equipment, and that's what I love about all Wes Audio gear, is you can do everything that you can do on that hardware can be done on the plugin, and vice versa. Yeah. Button-wise, buttons are tiny touch kind of fiddly, because you don't have attack and release on a pot. Your kind of button kind of nudging through, it's kind of fiddly, but it's not a problem, and I don't even know why I've really brought that up, because it's not really a thing. But some users may feel that, you know, you will want that pot instead of a button, but it's very usable in that regards. Once you know your way around the piece of hardware, you can literally dart around it. The GUI on the actual plugin looks amazing. That you can't knock. The plugin looks incredible. But yeah, all in overall, as a compressor, what you're actually getting for your money is you're getting so much. Now, the thing with this, in regards to this, is I never knew it was possible to fit a multi-band comp into 500 series. That I've not seen before. Now, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I don't think there's another multi-band comp in 500 series. You obviously have multi-band comps in 19-inch rack, but in 500 series, brilliant. Now, one thing I'm not overly keen about, and is the fact that they take up 3 slots. Now, obviously, I know why they've got to take up 3 slots. It's 3 slots for 3 bands. But you basically have ins and outs, stereo left and right. The problem being is because it has to be larger to be able to fit all the functionality in and the cards in the back. The problem you have there is you are taking up 3 slots. Now, 3 is an odd number for 500 series, because now you've got one kind of slot left over. Now, I know a few people who are in that situation where they've got, oh, I've got 1 slot, and it's like, well, you know, get a blanking plate kind of thing. So it does take up 3 slots. I don't have that problem because I have 2 in each rack, and that's partly the reason why I have 2 in each rack, is so that I use up all 10 slots, which, you know, in a Wes Audio Titan 500 series rack, it's perfectly fine, because, you know, there's 10 slots there. So you've got a Hyperion taking up 2, a Pandora taking up 3, and then another Hyperion taking up 2, and a Pandora taking up 3. So it really doesn't matter to me, but I have known of people who are like, oh, now I'm going to have to buy a Mimas and put a Mimas in there, or I'm going to put a blanking plate in. So yeah, it does take up 3 slots. But overall, look, it's incredible. I bought 1 Pandora, and within a couple of weeks I'd fit another 3, because they're so usable. This is the thing with them, because it's a multi-band comp, they are so usable. There's so many things you'll find you can do with them. It's like, if you have the Dione's good for certain things, mainly drums. I find it very good for drums, but it's not it's not as versatile as the Pandora. The Pandora can do a lot of things, and especially if you want to stick it in your mastering chain, you've got a multi-band comp in your mastering chain, which, you know, nobody's going to say no to that. So yeah, Wes Audio Pandora. I mean, if you could give it a grading out of 10, I mean, I'd give this, you know, an easy solid 9.5 out of 10, because, you know, there's a slight room for improvement, but these are improvements that, you know, they're not bad things about it. There's nothing bad about it. There's just like, if I had my way with it, I'd do what I mentioned, just the linking of the bands, and ideally the attack and release with pots rather than buttons. But look, here's the thing: is you're trying to fit so much functionality on a faceplate. That's kind of what you have to. That's what has to happen. So yeah, overall, yeah, incredible compressor, and anyone that buys one, uses one, you will absolutely love it, because I do, and I know how good it is for me. That's why I've got 4 of them. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't have 4 of them. Trust me.